Hey guys, CornsyrupMinecraft here, and today you can see me having a grand old time riding along on my new shiny conveyor belt. It's awesome. If you guys haven't guessed by the title of this video, and you just randomly clicked this video because you liked the thumbnail, which is awesome by the way. Anyway, you can see that I've been doing the assembly line mod, and what more would you expect in assembly line mod than conveyor belts? I don't know. That's what I think of when I think of assembly line mods. You think of conveyor belts and factories and automation and all sorts of cool snazzy stuff. And you can see here I've got one thing of a contraption right here, and it's really awesome. And so I'm going to be kind of taking you through all the components of this, and then all the recipes, and if you guys want to know how to build it, and all that stuff. So, without further ado, let's get started. I'll take you through all of this stuff. But first, the recipes. I know some of you guys don't like recipes and you want me to get to that, but I'll probably leave a annotation that's just like, hey, skip this, and it'll go straight to here. Alright, so, and if you guys can hear like a storm in the background, it's kind of thundering very and raining very badly, and we're under like tornado stuff, so I probably shouldn't be on the computer, but I was like, you know what, screw it, and so I am. So if this video kind of cuts off short, you guys know what happened, even though it probably wouldn't even be uploaded, but that's not a problem. Anyway, so we're just gonna get right into the assembly line mod. Alrighty, the first one is the conveyor belt. These are the basic thingy-mabobbers. You can see they look really awesome over there. I'm actually going to turn this off right here for no reason other than I can. Anyway, you can see they're crafted with some steel at the top, some wood, which isn't very apparent, but I guess it's for structural reasons, and then a motor, which is kind of obvious. Alright, and you get yourself a conveyor belt, and again, that's like the main transportation. This whole mod is all about conveyor belts and stuff like that, other than pipes, which I can see why now. I mean, I was like, I like pipes in the beginning. I don't really want a conveyor belt. They're a little bit expensive, and then they're just kind of like, you know, I mean, they're conveyor belts. And then I was like playing around with them, and I was just like, whoa, oh my god. And I was just like, yes, no, I don't like pipes anymore. I like conveyor belts now. Anyway, moving on to the crate, which I think is a really cool addition. It's kind of like a mass storage. You can see there's a number right here, 2,048 fences. I don't know where you get that many fences. I guess you fell in the entire world of trees and just decided to mass produce fences, which is okay with me. I don't care what you do, but they look really cool in the crate. And the 2,048 is the max number, which why you would want to store 32 stacks of items is beyond me. I guess you can use it for cobblestone and stuff. But anyway, it's just some steel and some sticks. And also, guys, as I say in all my videos, if you guys don't know how to create steel or motors or anything like that, the items I don't go over to show, that's because they are in my basic components. I almost forgot what it was called there. Video, and I mean, that'll explain to you all the basic components for this mod pack, and they kind of that items that bring the mod together. Alright, so moving on past the crates, which I think are pretty cool. You can store, and I forgot to show you this, guys, with your trusty wrench, which is also in my basic components video. Shift click. I have no idea what happens if you click on it. I don't want to find out. And you'll notice my vision got all weird and zoomed in. And I've got these particle effects, and I can move like very slowly. I'm moving like a few pixels per second. Anyway, you guys can see I've got 2,048 fences in a metal box in my inventory, and I think this is a pretty neat component. It actually slows you down. Like, you can see I'm jumping around and barely going anywhere, and the zoom is like killing me right now. But I've got a crate with, and this says, oh yeah, never mind, 2,048 fences in my inventory right now, which is bad. Oh, and I'm in creator mode, so God, slowness. Let's just get rid of that. There we are. Slowness goes away. Just pick up all these fences and delete them into creator mode. There we go, that looks good. Anyway, moving on, We got the detector. What the detector does, it just basically emits a redstone signal whenever it detects something, alright? I mean, I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be like a GUI that goes along with it, but you guys can hear me right-clicking, if it may possibly. Um, and it's not doing anything, even with the wrench. Well, the wrench turns silent, but shift-clicking turns it to red, which I'll explain in a second. And so I don't know how to get into it. If you guys know that particular piece of information, please just leave it in the comments for people who are my viewers that just want to know that answer so badly. They want to know the detector doesn't have a GUI on it. I don't know why they call it a GUI. I don't know. Maybe it sticks in your head or something. I'm not all technical. Anyway, so GUI's not GUI. The detector is made with 6 pieces of steel. Steel is being used a lot in this, which it makes sense of like a factory steel and stuff like that. And a basic circuit and an eye of Ender, which hopefully you guys know how to create. That was like 16 updates ago. So anyway, you get yourself a detector. And what the detector does is it just basically detects items. I think it can detect them even if they're not on the conveyor belt. But I am not sure about that. I know it does work on the conveyor belt, which is the whole purpose of it. But anyway, shift click it and it detects, I think it emits a redstone signal whenever there isn't items in front of it or something like that. That wiki isn't exactly clear on that, and I haven't been able to figure it out because all it does is switch to red and green. But, you know, I'm pretty sure that's what it does. And so moving on to a really important thing, it's called the imprint. It's kind of like a sheet of paper with some dust on it, and you kind of squirt an ink sac all over it. You can see you kind of messed up there. But no, this is basically kind of like a template for some machines. There's 2 kinds of templates. There's one like a digital template, and this is, I guess, the paper template. And so, moving on to what you use a template in, you can see how it's crafted there very easily. It's used in the imprinter. Well, this is what makes the, kind of forms the template, if you will. This is a blank one. And so this is the imprinter. You need a piston, some steel, ink sac, and some wood again. Which, why you need wood, I don't know. Maybe he's planning to add some world gen, just using wood as a replacement. I don't know. Anyway, you take your basic imprint and you say, I want this imprint to detect spawn villager eggs. Would you look at that? So now if a spawn villager ever comes to some of your machines that have an imprint in it, you'll know. It'll be like, hey, this came through here. But anyway, I just want to show you guys something real quick. I'm moving into this creator plush mode. This is a template right here. You guys can see it. It's all white, not being enriched at all. And look how many things I put on it. I've almost filled the entire page with stuff. So you could probably keep on going with this. Just have every single item in the game on your imprint, which would take you a ridiculously long amount of time. But you know, I mean, whatever works for you. I'm just trying to show you. I just kind of stopped because I couldn't see it anymore in the imprint machine. So, I mean, I don't know how long this can go. It could be go on forever, you know. Sky's the limit, even though you can. There is a build limit in Minecraft, so it doesn't actually work that way. Anyway, moving on to another cool block. It's called the rejector. This is probably one of my most favorite ones. It uses the imprinter, and the imprinter tells it what to basically reject. It's made with 2 steel plates, some redstone, some copper wire, and a piston. Is it a sticky piston? No, it's just a regular piston. Oh, this one's a sticky piston, by the way, just so you know. Regular piston on this one, though. And it looks pretty epic. You gotta admit, it really does. It looks exactly like what it does, especially this setup I've got here. You can probably tell what it does. But what this thing does is it says, no, I don't like you, and pushes you off into an adjacent conveyor belt, or if you don't have anything here, I'll just push you into a hole. But with the imprint, I'm going to grab my big imprint, because this would be funny. Boom. Look at all that stuff. I think it's red, though, because you can't have that many. So I guess there is a limit. I'm not sure what that is. But it looks pretty snazzy, you know. Just hover over that and you're like, whoa, I can't even see it all. But if I were to have what's one of the things on here, redstone coming through here, it'd be like, no, you're on my list, I'm gonna push you out. It's like immigration control, but for conveyor belts. Yes, immigration control. It's like, nope, you're redstone, push you out. Oh, you're a brick, you can go through now, but no redstone coming through. Okay. Anyway, moving on from that comment, we're on to the second type of template. This is the disk, which is obviously supposed to be more advanced, with 8 imprints and an advanced circuit, which is a diamond. So you get yourself a disc, and you can use that disc in what's called an arm bot. This was my favorite thing until it kind of stopped working. It's still in progress, guys, so don't be mad with it when it undoubtedly fails you, because it is kind of buggy and doesn't work all that well. But it looks cool. I mean, you got to give it props for that. It looks epic. It looks like one of those things you kind of see on like those like kids factory things, like, or maybe like Portal 2 or something like that on the factory lines. Like, it looks like one of those things. You can just picture yourself, if you have the Portal 2 mod installed, mass producing drones with a factory arm. I mean, how cool would that be? I'm just kind of thinking about that right now. I mean, wow. Anyway, crafted with 2 steel plates, advanced circuit, which is again a diamond, and 3 steel, like a little hooky pattern. Alright, it makes you the arm bot, which is again pretty cool. You just program the disk with this, did I forget one? No. Oh, oh man. I did forget one, guys. Oh, why did I do that? That's just wrong. Anyway, I'll show it to you guys real quick. It's called the encoder. It's what you use to encode your stuff. I'll show it to you guys real quick in any eye. Made with some steel, and ink, a piston, and any type of wood. And you get your... Oh, that's an... What? I said encoder. There we go. Sorry. Steel ingots around a advanced circuit. Sorry about that, guys. So it's like a cauldron made out of steel with an advanced circuit inside it. You get yourself an encoder. And I'll fly over here real quick because I have one set up. The encoder basically, it looks like you're just like, oh crap, programming, but it's really not. If you guys look at the wiki, which I'll leave in the description, there's only like 3 or like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 commands, and if you get it wrong, like if I just type that in there and I press enter, it just doesn't do anything. I mean, you have to actually do one of the commands. Did I spell that wrong? Rotate. I think I have to have number 2. Why isn't this working? This is actually gonna... I think it's... Wow. Okay, guys, so about that, I seem to have forgotten to put a disk in there. You guys are probably yelling at me about that. Where's this assembly line? So, disk goes in there. If we press repeat... No, that's repeat. Repeat. Yeah, you can see it goes on there. I'm not going to go through what all the commands do because I'm not really using it all that much. I'll go through what I used on my thing that I'll show you in a second. Or maybe I should go through other commands. I go through all the ones that I know right now. I'll take off this one, and I'll tell you what they mean. The first basic one is grab. You can see it comes up as a valid command. Grab does is it basically waits. It tells the arm to wait until there's something that it can grab. And then when that happens, it grabs it and then puts it in its hand, so to say, or arm. And then you got your basic drop, and that basically just does the same exact thing, except it drops it, whatever in its hand. And I don't think it really works. I think it might just get stuck if it doesn't have anything in its hand. And then there's the rotate, which I'm not exactly sure about, but you put a number in. It doesn't seem to be working right now. There's rotate, I guess, like right or left or back or something like that. And then there's also rotate 2. And that's, I think, your angle's like rotated 90 degrees or something like that. I think that's it. That's what I got from the wiki. And then there is repeat, if I can spell it right. And then if you just leave it, it's an infinite repeat, or you can put like repeat 10 and repeat 10 times and stuff like that. So it's really good for kind of factorization and stuff. I'm just gonna tab out. Nah, do I want to tab out? Nah, I'm not gonna tab out. I'm not gonna do that to you guys. But there are other ones. As I said, I'll leave it to you to find if you're really interested in this. I mean, it's not hard at all. It looks complicated, but again, if you just put in a string of random numbers or it's not right, click the add button or click enter, and it just doesn't do anything. And you can see in this says no commands. And same with the imprint, it'll show you what you're getting. And that's an imprint right there. Anyway, back on track, we're to the last item, which is pretty cool too. This is the manipulator. Alright, this is just a dispenser with a basic circuit, pretty easy. And what this thing does is it's basically like your input-output thingamabobber, okay? What this does is you put items in it, and it will put them in the corresponding side of an object, or you can take stuff out. I'll get into that over there where I'm kind of explaining all the components, which is actually where I'm going now. So, alrighty. So, I'm going to talk about the basic power for it first, because you do have to have it powered, but you also have to have power from the underneath. I mean, you guys can see the bounding box right here, and this thing is underneath that. So that's very important. I can show you if I have a wire. If I don't have a wire, then I'll get a wire. Wire. Here we are. That if I were to just connect it to the side, even on one of these flat ones, it's just not going to connect you. There's no connecting thingy. I don't know what it's called. And there is on the bottom one, because it will only work on the bottom, and it won't work on the top. So you have to remember to do that, or else it won't work. And you also have to remember to kind of get the kinks out of your conveyor belt, because if the conveyor belt doesn't think it's lined up properly, for one, the items won't go along it as well, or they'll just get stuck, and two, it won't get powered completely. So that's another way you can see if your thing has a kink in it, is if you power it and some parts don't get powered or they don't start running, then you'll know that, oh, there's something wrong here, I need to kind of fix that. And the one thing I had problems with is this, like the upwards inclines, how it has to, I was going to try to turn it straight from here and go that way, but it said I didn't like that, so, and it kept on getting stuck right here. So my solution to that was just to put another forward one here and then turn, and that seems to be working pretty well. Though the incline is a little bit buggy, it's just, I don't know, meh. And speaking of bugs, actually I'm kind of jumping around, but speaking of bugs, the encoder, if I were to type something and it just happened to have, you could see any eye coming up and going there. If I were to type in YouTube, I spelled that wrong, but you can see if I type the letters for the key bindings, I'm getting stuff. If I type I, which is my inventory key, it goes away. So you have to really keep in mind about that. That is a major bug. I recommend strongly that they fix that. But I can't type anything with I in it. I have to change my key bindings first and then do it, which is a real pain in the butt. But it's possible. It's not that hard, but it's just kind of annoying to do. Anyway, moving on. Again with the power, I can show you it powered on, and you see it slowly starts up, and then all the ones that are connected will start up. Sorry, I thought I had to sneeze there for a second. Maybe I still do. I'm not even sure. But anyway, so again, you can ride the conveyor belts too, which I thought it's really neat, really neat. Well, I mean, why wouldn't you be able to ride the conveyor belts? And you know, all right. So moving on again to, I'm gonna start with the manipulators because I've got one set up here. This is a oh yeah, there's no GUI for it. But this manipulator is hooked up to this chest, as you can see here. And the chest has any inventory. It can be put out of any side, and you'll still put it out the same chest. So what this thing needs is, you can see if you shift click with this on the wrench, you can see that arrow changing, and it's by default going in. Alright, but if you click on it with the wrench, then it will come out, and then if with a redstone signal, you can start pulling stuff out of the chest. Alright, so that's really cool too. You can put yourself a timer, and then you guys can see how the ramps are a little bit buggy. They kind of fling stuff in the air, and this one especially, because I don't know, something's just wrong with it. But see, they kind of get stuck right here, but it's not that because they get over it. It's kind of like they got a cold all of a sudden, and they're like, okay, I'm fine now. See, they got over it. They had to bunch up to do it. Took teamwork, but they got over it well enough. And you can see the detector going off. I'm actually going to try something. I'm not sure if this is how it works. If I go like that, see, it's not on right now, but I think there is supposed to be a GUI that you can suggest. You can't click with any items in your hands to do anything, but we'll see when this wood comes around if it does anything. I'm not exactly sure that it will. I mean, yeah, it still lights up, so I'm not exactly sure what the red functionality does. The wiki talked about a GUI, and you could press a button and all this fancy stuff, But anyway, moving on again, moving on a lot, because there's a bit to cover, and I kind of want to make this too long. These are the rejectors. You can see I set something up with an imprinter. I just kind of was like, boop, arrow, and coal, and it was like, now I sent it so any arrows and any coal that it finds, it'll just be like, okay, you rejected. So they're all going down this path, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, it doesn't have any negative effect. It just pushes it down another path. I'll show you with the arrows first, because I've got our little test subjects that if you hover over long enough, they'll start looking at you really, really creepily. Let's see if we can get them to do it. They're doing it, I think, slightly like these two. They form into like two. Oh gosh, isn't that creepy? Oh my. They're like, oh, it's just creepy to me. And then they kind of mass up, and you can go down here and handshake them and look at their noses and make fun of them all you want. But anyway, this is a thing with the fire command. I didn't show that to you guys on the imprinter because, again, I can't press I without going through my controls. But this thing, what it does is it's on grab. You can see the command it's on right now, and it's on the grab command. And what it's doing is arrows and coal are going down this path, but this coal is getting pushed down that path, which will go down later. But so any arrows would be like, I'll show you real quick, be like push, and then you can see this thing is on fire like 1 million or something like that, and then 1 million is like the power. So I'll just put like a ton of arrows on there that didn't land on it at all, but just kind of like spill out all my arrows, and kind of cool little effect. See, we're killing them by the hundreds. Not really, I don't think we even killed one of them, but someone's spazzing out in there. Anyway, moving on to the coal side of things. This is again with a manipulator on the input side. It pushes the coal out, and then this thing gets pushed over here. And then you'll see the manipulator on the bottom of the furnace. This is very important where you put your manipulators. Alright, the bottom of the furnace is where the coal goes in. Everybody knows that. But the manipulator has to be on the bottom. If you want to put something in the top, the manipulator would have to be on the top. If you want to pull something out, it had to be on the side. So keep that in mind. I also make sure it's switched to the input, or else it will just kind of keep on bouncing there, I think. But that is another cool thing to note. And one last thing on the imprinter, which I think is fairly cool. You can see we've got this. Oh, I guess that's not a really good example now, is it? I'm gonna show you something real quick. If you take the same thing you've already gotten printed, I've got spawn villager on here. I put another spawn villager in there, and now it's got no filters. I mean, I don't think it uses this up either, which is cool. And so that's kind of a way to erase your filters if you don't want it to do that. So, okay, I'll put in stick. Alright, so now this thing's imprinted with stick. If I put this in the crafting slot, and I put some wood in here, look at this, I can just keep on pulling out. And the cool thing about this is with the manipulators, you can feed in wood and pull out sticks. It's kind of like an auto crafting table. And what it will do is if you have multiple things, like if I had oak wood planks, okay, I put this in the crafting, and I've had some oak wood, just grab a stack of that. And so now we'll just go through and grab ourselves a bunch of oak wood planks, and then now you still have sticks in there as soon as I put these oak wood planks in there. But you may be like, well, we still have oak wood, why is it not making more planks? And that's because this order is very important. It says stick first, so stick is the priority, so it'll keep on making sticks. And now since it doesn't have anything to make sticks with, now it'll make more planks. But as soon as we put planks in there, it'll make more sticks, and then so on and so forth. You kind of get the idea? But it's kind of very orderly in the way that it does that, alright? So guys, I think this has been a pretty decent tutorial. And I hope you guys liked it. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. I love that whenever you guys do that. Make sure to post any criticism too. I mean, I'm completely open to your criticism, and if I feel like it's something that really should change, then I will definitely adopt that. So please make sure to comment on my videos and just tell me what you want, guys, because I'm kind of doing these videos kind of off a hunch that you guys like this. which I'm pretty sure you do based on reactions to my last videos. But I mean, just please tell me what you guys want, okay? So this has been CornsyrupMinecraft from CornsyrupMine7. This has been the assembly line mod. Have a great day, everyone.